This is the Mickey Miles and More podcast, your one stop for information on Disney races, Disney vacations, Disney theme parks, and more. Now, here are your hosts for the Mickey Miles and More podcast, Michelle Scribner-McLean, Chris Eliopoulos, and Mike Scopa.
Welcome, Milers, to another episode of Mickey Miles and More, a place to discuss all things Disney. I am Chris Eliopoulos, and with me is Dr. Michelle Scribner-McLean. What's up, Doc?
Hello. We're from New Hampshire, from southern New Hampshire. We're in the green. Yay!
All right.
And masks are worn by all. How are you today, Chris?
Doing well. As of this recording, by the time it's aired, I will have talked to Disney Archives. So later on this week, when we have a new episode, I will discuss my time spent talking to them. But so it's a little nerve-wracking right now. So, but do you have any shout-outs?
Yeah. So I have some people who just subscribed to the show, and they include Megan Dorsey, Michael Fitz, and Snap Judgment.
Oh, there you go. They've judged Michael Worthy. Speaking of which, hi, Mike. Mike Scopa is with us, who is a big Disney fanatic. And I never give you your credits out, but let's just say that Mike knows everything about Disney. So, and leave it at that. He's the high guru, right, Mike?
And he's very humble. Yes. So let me give you guys a quote and a attraction that is still active. And the quote goes like this: "It alters the homing beacon, and that's not good."
Star Tours?
No. Oh, I thought you'd get this really easily.
Wait, it alters the homing beacon. Go ahead, Michelle.
I was gonna say, I think Michelle knows
Dinosaur.
Yeah. Who says it, Michelle?
why.
It's that guy who was on the show with Kirstie Alley, the scientist who goes rogue.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs eat your head, so I don't.
Good job, Michelle. Good
Well
job.
done. And that, of course, is our dear friend Beci Mahnken from MEI Mouse Fan Travel. Once
That
again,
can't stand dinosaurs. Hi.
and does not like
You don't
dinosaurs.
like
I am not a fan of they will eat your head. It's a thing.
Is it dinosaurs or is that attraction?
It's the attraction.
Yeah.
I've never been a fan. I've ridden with Michael on several occasions where I've literally had to like hide in his armpit because I am so terrified.
So does that mean you don't like the Indiana Jones attraction in Disneyland?
No, I'm fine with that.
Oh,
Bring
okay,
on Indy.
Dinosaurs.
Hubba
then.
hubba.
It's just a giant creature going.
Yeah, it's like these big, huge, gnarly teeth and slobbering and coming at me. It's just
But
not.
there's one that's a vegetarian.
A Vegisaurus.
Okay, as long as it's over there somewhere and not like right above me before I'm going to go on a drop to eat my head. I have issues, and dinosaurs are one of them.
Hey, don't we all? No. So what we're going to do tonight is a little bit of continuation.
Did you welcome Beci Mahnken?
Yeah, he actually did. I just
How
went
I
on
introduced her.
rant, so
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You want to
Welcome
introduce her
Beci
again?
Mahnken.
I even gave her
cannot-
company
you cannot-
name out. Come on, I'm working it.
Cannot be welcomed too many times in my book. Welcome.
thank you. The number of times I've been so honored to be part of this, I'm starting. You might not get rid of me, just so you know.
We love it. I think people want to hear from you. So, but so tonight we're going to revisit our talk about the upcoming 50th anniversary of Disney World and some of the changes that are coming. But first, we kind of got news this week about some changes being made and some rides and attractions maybe being put on hold for a while, some being maybe not done at all. So, Mike, why don't you fill us in on what you've learned this week?
So if any of you out there have been to Walt Disney World within the last, well, I know you haven't been there within the last couple of months, but let's say within the last year, you may have had the opportunity to go into what used to be called the Odyssey restaurant, which was between Test Track in Mexico And inside, it's a multimedia presentation of what's going to happen with Epcot for the 50th. And one of the things that they do is they have a 360-degree film that shows different things. Recently, that film has been changed, and there have been a few things that have been taken out. One thing that is now no longer there is the area that is in the United Kingdom part of World Showcase, which was supposed to be a Mary Poppins experience.
Look behind you. It's right there. It's right there behind you, Michael.
Apparently, that was never started, and because it was never started, it's now on hold because of the pandemic, because of obviously revenue. So a lot of the funding for attractions that have not begun has now been diverted to finishing up the ones that are in process. For instance, Ratatouille. For instance, Guardians of the Galaxy. For instance, Tron, maybe the Tron cycle in Magic Kingdom. So we're learning that. So Mary Poppins is on hold. Another thing that was another refurbishment, one more time with Spaceship Earth. They were looking to, I don't want to say update, but enhance some of the scenes on the way up to the top of Spaceship Earth. And there was a plan to, I think, I don't know exactly how many, but I know one scene was early on, and that has been put on pause. So those two are
Judi Dench forever.
Yeah, Judi Dench. Those two are for sure. Now there's another.
That's my new T-shirt.
There's another, not an attraction, but there was another effort that was not really publicized much for Epcot, and it involved putting together. It was some. I don't recall exactly what the name was. Supposed to be called something like the World Neighborhood or something like that. It was supposed to be a 3-tier structure that was supposed to be built just behind Spaceship Earth, maybe just before World Showcase, in which there's going to be an area at the top which would have been somewhat of a mini theme park where people could watch the nighttime spectacular. It might have been something along the line of a fast pass kind of situation, but that sort of has disappeared. And I remember talking with Michelle about this earlier today, and I thought that there was a model of this just outside the Epcot Experience area in the Odyssey restaurant, because yesterday when I was watching a stream, someone was coming out, and right where I thought I had seen a model, it had changed, and there was a model of the Guardians of the Galaxy's ride vehicle. And right after I had thought about that, the person who was streaming said, wasn't there something else in this glass area? So those 3 things we know of. There have been some other things that have been planned that were minor and probably don't need to mention it, but I know that everybody was looking forward to Mary Poppins because it was so prominently displayed in the Epcot Experience thing. And we also had seen I had seen some artist renditions of some of the scenes in Spaceship Earth that they were changing, like the Phoenician scene or whatever. So just want to try to keep everyone up to date as to what we're hearing. And again, this is all from the impact of the pandemic. You know, as the parks are closed for a long period of time, the revenue stream kind of slows down. And so decisions have to be made. So we'll see what happens.
Well, Mike, I know you're really upset with the news that Stitch's Great Escape is permanently going to be shuttered. Aren't you upset? How upset are you?
You know, I was there for the soft opening with Stitch, and from day one, I never liked that show. So it was just a favorite. And it's one of those things where I was talking with an Imagineer a long time ago about that particular area of Tomorrowland, and he said that they are very limited as to what they can put in that attraction because it's very much part of the infrastructure of that whole building. So they're limited to using that venue, that's sort of a circular venue. It used to be Mission to Mars a long time ago.
I want extraterrestrial back. I love
it. Love that. Me too.
Loved it.
It was good.
It.
Yeah.
That was the best.
Loved that.
I agree.
No, there's something again. Now, why are all my weirdness coming out of this? It's like dinosaurs, no, and then that.
Wait, I got another one for you.
You get
That
stuck
was
in that
awesome.
chair,
I
and it
love
likes the
that.
back of
What
your
else
neck.
have you heard, Chris?
Well, I was going to say for Becky, for the dinosaurs, the primeval world is shutting down. They're going to get rid of that one.
I'm okay with that.
Oh.
Okay. That one works.
me.
Huh?
That whole area is
Because
not
it's a dinosaur thing.
But
No,
the other one, here's one before we get into this.
no Imagineering in that area.
I don't know if you guys heard this one. Rivers of Light is getting shut down.
What?
They're not moving forward. That's what I read online
It
today.
never really open up,
Never did. It
Ever
sort
since
of.
that barge went down, so.
I know Becky's like going on the internet right
Yeah.
now.
It's
She's
like,
looking to
wait a
see,
minute.
what did I
I
say?
didn't hear that one.
I heard that they
She had a
were.
dessert party planned.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, wait a minute, that's an event. Wait a second.
Had they mentioned, Chris, would there be any kind of a replacement, or did they just saying it's?
They literally just said that is going away. They've decided that it's just not working. That's all I've heard. And again, I'm hearing it, right? You're seeing it, Becky, right? You found it?
I am. Yep, I am.
I broke the news to you guys? How is this happening?
Wow.
I am like the least
Wow.
nerdy about this stuff than you guys, and you guys just dropped the ball.
I told you it would make him happy, guys.
I
That's
know.
okay.
You all
No,
planned it to make me look good, right?
I was there for the press event for when they were showing us Rivers Light was coming soon, and showed us a few of the parade floats that were coming out into the water, but the show wasn't ready. So it was and that was years ago. And then it was just like this past spring. Yeah, when I was there in March, we got to see a dessert party and see part of the new show that they had brought out, which was really beautiful, and I really loved it. So this does kind of make me sad. But hopefully they'll have something else later on, maybe for the 50th.
Hey, look, they're always adding and changing, and hopefully once you get past this. But so let's start talking about some of the things that are coming up, or maybe even have already arrived. And I think the three of you might know this first one. Michelle, tell us about Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Yes, in the Chinese theater. It's the first ride with Mickey and Minnie. And I got a chance, Mike and I got a chance to go on it in March, could not get fast passes, and the line said 30 minutes, and it wasn't even 30 minutes, it was about 20 minutes, but it was time well spent. It is one of those, when I saw Rivers of Light, I'm like, okay, done, I'm done that. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is one of those attractions that I think I could go on and go off 10 times in a row. There's just so much there. So you start off and you're on a train, and Goofy is the engineer, and then from there things just go in a way that you just wouldn't expect. So for me, it ties obviously the Disney. We love Mickey and Minnie. You really feel like you're in a cartoon. You really feel like you're in a cartoon, and the technology is just like bananas. It's just so cool. The cars separate. That there's an element where it's sort of like, what is that ride, Becky, in Disneyland, in Cars Land? Luigi's. When the cars all dance. So there's an element where the cars are sort of dancing around like that. You actually are dancing. And so, but you're in a train that's sort of, everybody's going in different directions. It is off the charts awesome. I mean, it is just, I think I laughed the entire time. My mouth was open.
Oh,
yeah, I never saw so many
absolutely
people laughing in an attraction.
Yeah, it was so, I would wait in line. I mean, there are not a lot of things I would wait in line for an hour. I would wait in line. I would have just gotten off and gone back on again. And Becky, you were there for the press opening, right?
Oh my gosh, yes. And I was looking forward to this so much because luckily I'm friends with one of the lead Imagineers on it. So just seeing the happiness in her face of the birth of her baby was just amazing to me. And it was so mind-blowing that in all this time, there was never a Mickey or Minnie attraction before. And when they said that, I was like, wait a minute, there's got to have been something. But no, there never was. And then when you look at it, you're going on the perfect picnic, sure, to Run Amok Park. What could possibly go wrong? So you've got all those details. It's like, okay, there's something horrendously fun going to happen in front of you. And I love the earworm. Nothing Can Stop Us Now is the song. And when you walk out of that, it's worse than It's a Small World because it's in your brain and you're humming it and you find yourself singing it without meaning to.
Don't you feel like you're in a cartoon though?
Yeah.
I felt like I was a cartoon character.
It kind of felt like going into the movie Roger Rabbit, where you know you kind of go break through the fourth wall to get into this cartoon world, and it was so cute and uplifting, and the art is amazing, and all the Easter eggs. Like you said, you go on it once, you got to go on it 5 times just to see the stuff that's right in front of you.
Yeah.
But beyond that, then you find out that there's this teeny little Easter egg that you got to find in the fair room where the carnival's going on, and you got to look for that. And it's the same ride system as Rise of the Resistance or Mystic Manor, if you've ever been over there. How the cars just so easily glide through scene to scene. I laughed and giggled the entire way through. Even on like the 8th time that I went on, I still was finding things that were new and interesting and fun. So that's a must do over and over and over again.
Even in the queue line, the movie posters, movie posters of the characters and the pre-show and what happens there.
And it's that quirky new Mickey and Minnie animation style, right? It's sort of
like Disney Junior, the sort of
like that retro modern look to it.
Right.
Exactly.
What did you think, Mike?
You know, you guys have pretty much said everything that I would say. I think that one of the things I'd love to be able to go through that ride with Steve Barrett and ask Steve to show me all the hidden Mickeys, because apparently there are more hidden Mickeys in that attraction than in any other attraction. But
it's like a constant one, isn't it? It's just Mickey's everywhere.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like Michelle and Becky have said, if you went through it 5 times, you're going to see something. You're going to have 5 different experiences, because you need to train your eyes the second time around. Okay, I was looking over here in this room. I need to look over here because I might have missed something in that room. And the technology, like Michelle said about how you feel like you're in a cartoon because you feel like you're swallowed into the actual animation that you're watching. I think you'd love it, Chris. It's just
and did you guys feel like you were going like this
all the time?
Yeah. And also
head on a swivel. I
didn't feel like there was anybody else on the attraction except for me. Like I didn't notice. I noticed other cars a little bit, but it just felt so personal, like it was just me on it, because I don't know how they did it. It was just so fun. So fun.
I'm looking forward to getting to see it when I get back there in 5 years.
Make your fast pass now, Chris.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to take up the next one. Our next thing is a restaurant, Space 220 restaurant, which is I'm just going to read it because it makes life easy. The Space 220 restaurant features a 250-foot wide digital screen to create the illusion of being high above the earth. You might want to be there at this point. Located in Epcot's Future World near Mission Space, this much anticipated outer space themed restaurant was originally scheduled to open sometime in 2020. The guest experience begin with 2 elevator rides. Oh God, I'm thinking of Matt, how he thought the hydrolators worked. 2 elevator rides up into space. Each is equipped with a digital screen that imitates a journey to Centauri Space Station. The destination 220 miles above the Earth, thus the name. Once inside the restaurant, there will be a jaw-dropping panoramic views of outer space as you choose from a large selection of craft beers and over 1,000 bottles of wine. Michelle, thousands of bottles of wine.
Got to try them all. Right?
Yeah, one at a time.
0G bottles. So what do you think? You guys looking forward to this, or is this just sort of like another quirky little... Like it almost reminds me of like the Seas restaurant. What's it called?
Living Seas.
Living Seas.
Yeah, except you're going up into space rather than down into the ocean.
Right.
I love these because it transports you into a whole nother universe, literally, where you get to experience a different environment.
Right.
So for some people it might be a little kitschy. It might be a one and done for some folks, but for me, I think. Anything that you can do to immerse yourself in a whole different story is a great opportunity. And if the screens hold up, I mean, if you look at a bunch of different pieces of technology, like you wouldn't know this, but Michelle and Mike and I do, on a cruise ship where they do virtual portholes and they do other type of experiences that bring you into a different reality. I think it's fun, and I'm kind of looking forward to it.
Mike?
Yeah, Becky kind of stole my thunder. I was also going to compare this to
I'm in trouble now.
If you've ever experienced Artist's Palette, sort of along the same idea. They kind of immerse you into an area that is not necessarily a restaurant, but it's a restaurant and something else. You don't know what it is. And I think that you mean
Animator's Palette?
What did I say? Artist's Palette?
Yeah.
Artist's Palette is somewhere else. Animator's Palette. So very much this immerses you into a space kind of situation, and I think it's kind of cool. I think it'll be interesting. It's a little bit like what they tried to do when they first had, I forget the name of the restaurant in the studios. I forget what it was. Anyways, it's just a nice way of having a meal in a different kind of setting. So, what do I think?
Shall you going?
Yeah. So, I'm worried and I'm optimistic.
Worried.
He's still thinking. So here's my worry. My worry is that when Rainforest Cafe opened, that was really cool, and then it got really old really fast. And the dinosaur restaurant in Disney Springs, same thing. It was kind of cool, but yeah, Becky, no dinosaurs for while you're eating. But here's the
Prime Time Cafe I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Keep up. Come on, Mike. Keep up. I'm optimistic because of the technology, and one of the things that you said, Becky, is that I think the technology can keep it fresh. And so if it's the same thing, or it just feels too kitschy and it doesn't change, I think that it would get boring very quickly. But if they can do things that make it a different experience every time, I think it will be very, very cool. And the wine.
Yeah.
What about you, Chris?
Yeah, I'm a space buff. Like, that's my big thing. I love the space program. I love the idea of going to space. I still watch those. I mean, they have them on the Disney Plus now, like Man in Space, the old Tomorrowland specials they would have on the Becky changed.
Right.
And so I love it. And you're right. I love the idea that they've got this big giant screen, which they can change to like they could change where you visit every time you go there. It could be a different galaxy, a different planet, a different whatever. So there's the ability to keep it up. I just hope they're not like selling like astronaut ice cream or something, like stuff.
You get like little Tang bags.
Freeze dried. Yeah. Freeze dried.
Now I'm going to show my age.
Yep.
Here, have some Tang.
Yeah. So I hope
it's dried ice cream.
Like, as much as we are in space, I still want a good meal. Like, I know we're paying a little extra for the kitsch factor, but I really want the food to be good. So
yeah, I think that may drive the one and done or not is what food's going to be on the menu and what they're going to serve. So hopefully it's one of the higher level.
And look at it this way: it's going to be cheaper than the Star Wars hotel.
Don't even get me started on that.
I know we did that last episode.
Should have waited.
Well,
now I'm not going to
have you on to talk about that one because it's still one of those.
Tell us what you know.
Nope. Go ahead. Keep going.
Nope. Okay. So, Mike, talk to me about the Mickey Shorts Theater.
So there are a number of things that were planned to help celebrate the 50th, and one of the things they wanted to do is they wanted to showcase Mickey and Minnie as much as possible. So we already talked about the Mickey and Minnie Railways, and what they have done is they've opened up a Mickey Shorts Theater in Hollywood Studios, and basically it's a theater where you're actually sitting. The seats are actually designed to be like Mickey shorts, and you're in there and you're watching Mickey Mouse shorts, which would be short films, cartoons or whatever that we used to see long time ago in the Magic Kingdom, way behind right behind Tony's Town Square Cafe. Mm-hmm. So this is located in the studios where originally the Monster Soundstage theater was, and it's right near Indiana Jones, to the side of Indiana Jones on the way towards Star Tours. And I think it's a great idea because I think that Mickey's been actually ignored for a while there. And now that he's back, I think it's a great idea to bring the kids in, to take them out of the heat and to watch cartoons. Who doesn't love a Mickey cartoon? So I think it's a great idea.
Yeah,
One
a
of the things
Mickey
I was
cartoon with air
worried.
conditioning. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, I was just going to say, so, is it going to come to a point where every one of the theme parks is sort of homogenized? Because what makes the studios now? If it's Mickey, if we have the Mickey, the Runaway train, and then the Mickey shorts where they have it in the Magic Kingdom. I don't know. What the studios has always had such its own personality, so that's my only worry about that.
No, I think you're right, Michelle. The name studios becomes a misnomer after a while.
Yeah, but this is what they're doing now. I mean, they've sort of got to make every park somewhere that everybody has to go to, and they have to make sure that it's Disney, so you get everybody's in there. So I don't know, whatever. Do you want to do just one more? I think we have time for just one more.
Oh, the big one.
Yeah, I don't know. Should we hold this one to the next one, or you want to tackle it now?
I think we should go out with a bang. Get it?
Literally. Okay, so I don't know. I'll just basically introduce it and just say we're going to talk about the Harmonious Epcot Nighttime Show, which has already started. Is that right? No.
No.
Oh, they had the one that was in the
Epcot Forever.
Epcot Forever.
Okay. That only lasted a year, not forever. Right. So, what are you thinking so far?
So, just to talk a little bit about Epcot Forever, the reason why Epcot Forever was put in place rather than go from Illuminations to Harmonious is that there was a feeling that if Harmonious opened up too close to when Illuminations closed, there would be a comparison, and that would not be fair to either one. So this bridge of Epcot Forever was put in place, but at the same time, of course, they had to change the infrastructure of the World Showcase Lagoon because of all the different technology that they were going to use. But it's not supposed to make its debut until October 1st of this year. So fingers are crossed.
We'll have to see. Becky, you have any inside knowledge of what technologies they're going to use?
I think that Epcot Forever was also used as kind of a testing ground for some of the technology. The things like the kites really excited me, seeing how they weaved the kites into the flow. Some of the pyrotechnic technology has changed as well, and I kind of like to see some of the little pieces that they put into play there. I'm hoping that we might see, and can you tell that I'm really kind of reaching here because I don't know for sure, but way back when they had the drone technology in Disney Springs, I'd like to see them bring that type of element in. But Epcot Forever, I was really excited about because of the story it was telling about Epcot of the past, and it was too short for me. I was kind of expecting a little bit of longer show, but then again, like you said, it will then be that springboard to Harmonious, which some of the music is stunning. Bridge that music with the technology and some of the visuals that they're working on. I'm excited for this show. I hope that it lives up to the expectation that they've set, because they've set the bar high. And I think that they've got some surprises up their sleeve for us. So that's going to be exciting.
Michelle, you've seen these two cry at Illuminations. Do you think Harmonious is going to make them cry? I mean, Mike cries at a I don't know, McDonald's commercial.
Yeah, Mike does cry a lot. He does cry a lot. He's crying now just thinking about it. I think that I think Mike is going to be a hard nut to crack. I think that he is always going to have Illuminations and the memories of Illuminations and the gatherings that we had and the dessert parties. It's going to take a lot to kind of shift that. But I think Becky is going to be all in on day one because she has that pyrotechnic background, and I think the technology is going to be really interesting. But if there's something that grabs Mike's heart, I think Mike will be all in. He'll be sobbing. So
Once he learns how to
what are they going to
conduct
have to put in there? Yeah. That's what he conducts everything.
Well, we know that it will showcase the Fab Five, I believe.
Yeah.
There
If
will
they
be
have Walt Disney's voice piped in, then you got them.
That's a killer.
yeah, the floats are going to be interesting because the floats are going to have arms or waves or wands or whatever. That will be interesting. I think that Becky said something that I picked up on, and that is that if anything's going to make anybody emotional, it's going to be the music. It's going to be not just the visuals, not just the sights, but it's going to be the sounds. Because in many cases, I think that triggers an emotion. I don't think that sights do. I mean, Walter Cronkite's voice, Walt Disney's voice.
Children singing gets them crying.
Children singing, but there'd be peace on earth, things like that. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting. So, to that end, Becky, it would be interesting to see what happens when how they transition from Harmonious to the Christmas tag this year. And I have not heard of any changes in the Christmas tag, or if there have been, it's been pretty quiet. We don't know if there's going to be a different voice. We don't know. James Earl Jones, that would be nice. But anyways,
this year, am I hearing optimism? This year?
Well, again,
Nice.
Harmonious is supposed to debut on October 1st, and I would imagine that Epcot would be just splitting from the seams with the number of people there. October 1st, in the middle of a food and wine festival, you've got people going down for Mickey's Not So Scary. Well, Mickey's Not So Scary is not going to take place this year, so there's no fireworks, so maybe it's going to be postponed.
That's what I was going to say, is that there's definitely a possibility, since they're trying to stay away from the shows that would create crowds. So if we're still sitting here like this come mid-August, end of August, they might have to rethink the start date. I actually hadn't heard that October 1st was going to be the official start date of that. Did you?
Yeah, I heard that a long time ago. Of course, that dates don't mean anything right now.
Yeah, that's so true.
Is the Christmas party canceled?
I have not heard that yet. I would guess that we would hear that fairly soon, as well as the Wine and Dine race weekend.
Yeah,
pretty soon. Well, we should hear that. I'd say within the next 4 weeks.
Yeah, I will say that I'm not as gripping onto Illuminations like you guys, like Mike. I know you love it to death. I love it. I've got the music, and it's funny. Like, my kids grew up on that one, so that's the thing. It's like it's gonna be something new. My kids, I'll play that music. I'll be sitting in my studio, and like, literally, my sons will come in and do the sound effects of the explosions in the spots they're supposed to be, even though it's not on the soundtrack. So like, they know it back and forward. So it's going to be fun for them to go and see something totally different. And
you raised them right.
I know.
So
you raised them right.
the reason that there's a connection with Michelle, I think, was there too. Becky, I don't remember if you were there. Scabetta. One night we watched the Illuminations show from a boat in the lagoon, and Scabetta told us the story, and that just, I was sold. Well, this represents this and this represents that. So
yeah,
and
then Len jumped a railing, and
well, that's a rumor.
That's an old lie that was told.
Yeah.
All right, so maybe we'll leave it there for now. We hope you've enjoyed the episode and the talk. We're going to have more in future episodes about the new upcoming stuff that we hope will be here sooner rather than later. If you have a comment or a suggestion, head down below and let us know what you're thinking. While there, be sure to hit the like and the subscribe button. So on behalf of Beci Mahnken, Dr. Michelle Scrivener-McLean, Mike Scopa, I'm Chris Eliopoulos. We'll see you on the road.